Good morning, good Saturday morning to you. Good Saturday morning to you. Oh, transformational conversations, transformational learnings, all of that. So I want to share what I have, what I'm learning and what I'm unlearning about so many things, especially about changing the story. We have experiences in life. We tend to make those experiences permanent, like in our head, and we just operate from those experiences. This is the way it is. So this is the way I have to be because this happened to me. So this is what I have to do, right? That was me until it wasn't. Do you know you have the power to change the way you see the story? You can't change the story, but you can change the way you see the story. Okay? So let me get into it. Let me get into this information. This is mental health information. Okay, this is because it has to start somewhere. We got to dissect this thing. We got to pull up the roots so we can plant new seeds. Okay, so this is some things that I've been learning. Okay, between the age of 20 and 35, lots of repressed childhood memories start to come up for people. Between the ages of 20 and 35. A lot of repressed childhood memories. I wish I had known this stuff a long time ago. I wish it's the vibe for me. I mean, I like it. So, as long as the person who they want hair or don't want hair, as long as they like it, that's all that matters. So, yeah. So at the age of 20 to 35, lots of repressed childhood memories start coming up. I wish I had known this a long time ago. You ever start feeling something? It's like, I don't know. It's like every birthday, it's like, oh man, I should have this done. This should have been done. I should be here now. I should be further along now. I should be married now. I should be in my own home now. I should be further in my career. And that's so many things that we want, right? And we don't get it. And it's like every birthday, I was like that. For every birthday, it was like, man, look, I ain't where I want to be. I'm not with who I want to be with. Like I am not like what's up with this, right? So it makes sense that at that age, a lot of repressed childhood memories come up because when you're young and you're in school and you got all this stuff going, you're not thinking about that stuff, right? But when you get older and you start good morning and you just start settling in the person who you becoming, right? Then it's like all this stuff starts coming back to you. All these memories start coming back to you. Like, what is going on? Why am I feeling like this? Okay, so we're responding from what happened, responding to what happened in the past. In the present is called triggered. So responding from what happened in the past, in the present, is called triggered. Your body is screaming for you to give these moments attention, right? When you're triggered, your body's screaming to give that moment attention, and it's not going to go away. You cannot continue to run from the triggers. You cannot continue to ignore the triggers. Dreams can be a way for your brain dreams can be a way for your brain to give your brain time to process this, right? Signs someone is ready to do the trauma work. Overthinking, fighting identity, okay? In a career that you have checked all the boxes off and still don't feel accomplished or satisfied. Trauma makes one single moment that you were deeply wounded and traps us emotionally and loops us into reliving that moment over and over and over and over again. Chronic or toxic relationships issues are a sign that you need trauma work, right? Wanting other people to change, trying to fix other people, okay? And it's a process. And it's not like, oh, I'm going to take this pill and I'm going to be okay. I'm going to do this thing and I'm healed. It's like it is a process and things are constantly coming up. We have to constantly process. We have to constantly talk about these things that are triggering us, that are bothering us, right? Because when the trigger appears, a trigger is a sign, is an invitation for an investigation. That's what a trigger is, okay? You got to go within. Like, why am I feeling like this? What happened in my past that my body is still holding on to? Because your body keeps score. You may have forgotten, but your body remembers, okay? If you keep dating the same person in different bodies, that was the story of my life. If you keep dating the same person in different bodies, Trauma makes us attend to things and people that break our heart. Let me say that again. Trauma makes us attend to things and people that break our heart. A mental posture is where you feel like things are impossible, but you cannot explain why. So say, for instance, this person that, y'all had a falling out, right? And it's like, okay, well, you talk to your counselor, your therapist, or somebody's like, okay, well, call that person and tell them how you feel. And the response is, I can't do that. I can't do that. There's an internal value that your brain held onto as facts. And somehow you speaking up for yourself is fighting against this lie. This is called learned helplessness. And I had to look that up, y'all, because I really wanted to give y'all the definition of what that is. Learned helplessness. It's a condition in which a person has a sense of powerlessness arising from a traumatic event or persistent failure to succeed. It is a thought to be one of the underlying causes of depression. Learned helplessness. In humans, learned helplessness is related to the concept of self-efficacy. The individuals believe in their innate ability to achieve goals. Learned helplessness theory is a view that clinical depression and other related mental illnesses may result from a real or perceived absence of control over the outcome of a situation sometimes. I don't know about y'all, but I wanted to control the outcome. I had to control the outcome because I did not want it to be rejected. I did not want it to be abandoned. I did not want it to be left. So I always controlled the outcome of my relationships. I would always ended the relationship, okay? Because I did not want to be the one to be left. I did not want to be the one to be rejected. I did not want to be the one to be abandoned. So I always ended them first because I did not want to be the one being left. I wanted to be the one doing the leaving, okay? I learned that from childhood. Growing up, my father was not in my life until I was like 13 or 14. And then I met my father in prison. So there's so many stories, so many things I had in my head about how, relationships should be. Like from what I saw growing up, I didn't see the perfect relationships. I didn't see people being loved, right? I didn't see that, right? So I began to create the story in my head, like people leave, men leave. I can't trust them. They ain't no good. All they're going to do is just play them games with you and then they're gone. So I'm going to leave them before they leave me. I'm going to hurt them before they hurt me. Right? Whatever they're doing to me, I'm going to do it back to them. That was my thought process. Yes, toxic. There's some times, there's some relationships I look back on my life, like I was a toxic person. Okay? I was a broken person. I was the unhealed person. And I operated this way for decades. Didn't even know it. You do it so long, you like, this is just the way I am. This is what it is, right? New information requires new decisions, right? Not ashamed of my past, just I stand on it, not in it. So that was my experience. And I don't know if any of you have had that experience or you're experiencing that right now. I did not understand this stuff until I start talking to somebody. Right? Until I started talking to a therapist, until I started getting coaching, until I became a coach, until I started listening to books and reading books. Whatever area you suffer in, you invest in that area so you can learn and you can grow and you cannot stay stuck and stagnant. Right? A lot of this, there's so much information out here. Healing is available, right? That is not the end of your story. You can change the story, right? It's just the story, right? You get to rewrite that thing. You know what? This happened. And, I learned, what am I learning from that? Like, look at what you're learning from that. Because relationships come to teach us something. Every relationship is teaching us something about ourselves. It ain't about the other person. We can blame them and they ain't this and they ain't that. But you pick that person for a reason, right? Bonding pattern, right? That's what I also learned. I attracted certain type of people because that's what inside of me needed healing. That's what I saw. So for some reason, I thought I was a healer. I thought I was a fixer-upper. I thought I was a change. I can change people. Like I was doing it. And it never worked. But as I look back on my life, I see why I attracted certain people because that was what was going on inside of me, right? What I saw growing up, the stories I was telling myself. I was operating from these stories, negative limiting beliefs. I was operating from that, and it never works, okay? So where was I? Instead of asking for help, you struggle because of the past. You may have asked someone and they told you no. So now you got to figure it out, or you don't. That was really, asking for help was really, really hard for me. That I did not like that. I did not like, and I'm still like working through that. I ask, but it's like, oh, I got to ask. But you have to, because it's like you only can take yourself as far as you can by yourself. We're meant to do relationships. We're meant to be in these relationships so they can teach us about ourselves. We help each other grow and heal and evolve and elevate, right? Because if it wasn't for these relationships, I would not be here now telling you this stuff. It taught me so much. These experiences will teach you, right? What am I trying? Okay, so what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to show me? Because every relationship is teaching you something and showing you something. Pay attention. A lot of us don't know that we have these stories and are bringing these stories into relationships. That was me. I was bringing these stories I didn't even know I was bringing these stories into the relationships. Didn't know. I was operating from this little girl was running the show. My little girl was running the show. She was like, nope, we're going to leave them before they leave us. Nope, we're going to hurt them before they hurt us. We are not going to be like we were at 7 years old when your brother and sister had a daddy. Where was your daddy at? Like, what's up with that? That's how I thought. That's how I operated. My little girl was running the show. And I had to get help, right? I had to do my work. You got to do your work. And it's going to look different for everybody else. It's going to look different for each person. When I began to talk, when I began to share, and people begin to, like when you're talking to a therapist or a coach, they're asking you questions. I'm not going to say counselors. They ask certain questions, but coaches, they ask you questions. And those questions, you're like, wait a minute, I ain't thought about that. And it's like you have, the thing is, you don't know you have the answers, but you do. You have the answers within, right? It takes somebody all you got to do is talk to somebody. And the more you talk, you start processing that thing and you just start, wait a minute. Okay, so I'm telling you, the answers are within. Talking to someone, a safe person, will change your entire life, right? Because once you hear yourself talking, you start thinking about things. Wait a minute. So why do I do this? And why do I do that? And it's all back to childhood. Like it all stems back from childhood and this story that you operate from for decades. There's this experience that happens, right? We take that experience. Let me go back to this right here. Where was it at? Okay, so the traumatic it's a single moment, right? That you were deeply wounded, and it traps us emotionally and loops us into reliving that moment over and over and over again. And then you turn into an adult. Keep living that moment over and over again. All your relationships reflect that moment over and over again. You don't trust people. You don't do new people. You don't do friends. You don't do a whole lot of stuff because at some point in your life, you were hurt. You was rejected or abandoned, and you do not trust. And the person you don't trust the most is you. That was me. I did not trust me. Because the people I was picking, I was like, it's the same person, different name, the same person, a different name. So what do I do? What do I do with me? Because I can't do nothing with them. I realized that my job is not to fix and save and rescue people. My job is to heal. My job is to get the help, the support that I need for me so I can pick better. So I can pick better. So I can pick the friends better. So I can pick better relationships. So I can have discernment, right? It all starts with us. We can point the finger at everybody else, but those other fingers are pointing at you. You have to do your work. You have to get that healing. You have to do that in order to have productive relationships. There are people who don't do people. Like somebody has said that. I don't do people. I don't do new people. And I don't trust this. And it's you don't trust you. At the end of the day, you don't trust you. I did not trust me. Because I seen my track record. So I was like, I know how it's going to end. Right? And I gave them my body, but I didn't give them me. You can give somebody your body, not give them your whole self. Didn't trust him. Didn't trust him. I'm not doing that. Yep. I give you my body, but I ain't giving you me. Right? That was me. I didn't do it. It was so easy for me to walk away. Oh, it hurt. It did. But I'll be okay. Because I always had a replacement. I couldn't be alone. Being alone was scary. I didn't know who I was. So why the hell would I want to be alone with me if I don't know me? A lot of people can't sit in quietness. A lot of people can't sit in stillness. Cannot do it. Because it's scary. It's scary to be alone with you. It's scary to look at yourself in the mirror and sit with you and your stuff. That's scary. It was scary for me. I'm saying that because that's how I felt at that time until I started doing my work. Now I can sit alone with myself. I can be alone with myself and not be bored and not be, oh, what am I? Well, I need to do something. No, I'm a human being, not a human doing. I don't always have to be doing something. I can just be. I can just be alone with me and God and just sit in complete silence for minutes, for hours. I don't have a problem with that. But before, oh, it definitely was a problem. I had to do my work. That was personal development. That was coaching. That was talking to someone, a safe person. That was getting around other like-minded people. Community matters. Safe people matter. They do. You don't have to struggle and suffer in silence. Like you don't. A lot of stuff we just don't know. You just don't know. You've gotten yourself as far as you could by yourself. So get the help, the support you need. And it is whatever that looks like for you. Whatever that looks like for you. There's this counselor. She's a licensed trauma therapist. And her podcast is amazing. I am getting so much value just from watching her. And it's blowing my mind. There's so many things that we don't even know that we're dealing with, right? At the age between 20 and 35, a lot of repressed childhood memories start to come up for people. And you just like, what's going on? Like, why am I feeling this? Like, why am I triggered now? Why is this bothering me now? And your biggest irritation, okay, that's the person that you're called to help, right? The person you're most equipped to help is the younger version of you. The person you're most equipped to help. This is what I learned about my purpose. The person that you're most equipped to help is the younger version of you. I am here to help the abandoned. I'm called to the women who are abandoned, the women who are rejected, the women who struggle with self-love and self-acceptance. That's the person I'm called to. Your biggest pain produces your purpose. Okay? Pain can be a prison or a passport. Pain can be a prison or a passport. It's up to you. It is up to you. You can stay stuck in that story or you can change that story. You know what? I know that happened and it happened for a reason. So who am I here to serve? Who can I help? Now that I made it on the other side of that, who am I here to help? Those people will be attracted to you. The people who are called to you will be attracted to you. You won't have to beat them side of the head. You won't have to run them down. They will be attracted to you. They can hear you. Those people you are equipped to help. The person you're most equipped to help is the person you used to be. That blew my entire mind when I heard that. The person you're most equipped to help is the person that you used to be. I can't talk about nothing I ain't never been through. I can't teach about nothing I have not learned. I'm telling you from my personal experience. You're currently in the silence phase. Yeah. It's uncomfortable. That silence is very uncomfortable. But just journal and just listen. Listen to your inner voice. Listen to the Holy Spirit. I'm telling you, I didn't know why I was going through what I was going through. I just knew that I did not want to stay there. It was a cycle, and I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Nothing was changing but the person's name. I kept dating the same person over and over and over again until I done my work. You have to do your work. You have to. These relationships are shining lights on on those dark spots inside of you that you cannot see. That's what relationships do. They shine the lights. You both shining lights on each other. Oh, I don't like it. Whatever you don't like about that person, look within. Because somewhere it's in you too. That's why it irritates you. It irritates you, right? It irritates me when women don't respect themselves. It irritates me when women don't love themselves. It irritates me when women chase after men who don't want nothing to do with them. Because I know they don't love themselves. I know they don't. Because that was me. that was me. Okay? Yeah, I let them go, but I let them go because I wanted them to come back and can say, you know what? I choose you. I want this. I wanted them to come back. I left them hoping they would turn around and say, you know what? I can't let you go. But that didn't happen, right? I wanted to be chosen and not left. I wanted to be loved and not unloved. You know, it's so many things. As I sit here and I listen and I process and I look back on my life, everything that I've been through has got me to this point. And this is why I show up every day. Every Saturday I'm on here. I'm teaching what I know. Because I know people don't know. People don't talk about this. We only show what we only show what we want people to see. And Facebook, social media, we only showing the good stuff. We're not talking about the bad stuff. We're not talking about the negative bank account. We're not talking about the divorce. We're not talking about the rejection. We're not talking about the job loss. We're not talking about the negative bank accounts. We're not talking about that stuff. But it's happening. It is happening. I am here to share my truth. As ugly, as uncomfortable it may be, especially for me, I know that it's bigger than me. I know that my voice needs to be heard by someone who's where I was right now. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you everything I've been through. People be surprised when they hear me just talk and share because I'm a very quiet person. I really am. I only speak when I got something to say. I only speak when I got something to say. And when I speak, I got something to say. I got something to say, honey. So I sit back and I do a lot of observing. And I'm constantly reading and listening to books and learning things so I can help other people. Because I know I want to be what I needed growing up. I needed someone like me pouring into me, sharing things with me that I never knew about. Inviting me to different things that's going to help me grow and learn. I joined this community called Bible U because I want to learn how to understand the Bible. We go to church, but they don't teach us how do you understand these words? Like, what do these words mean? Because I don't understand these bigger words. And I want to be able to understand it so I can talk about it, right? So whatever area you lack wisdom in, invest in those areas. Personal development is an area that we all should invest in constantly because we're growing, right? You want to learn about you so you can not stay stuck. You want to learn about you so you can have better relationships. You can be a better mom. You can be a better sister. You can be a better brother. You can be a better parent, right? You want to learn. You want to heal. Okay? Transform people, right? Healed people help other people heal. But we got to do our work. So let me tell you about the book I got. The young lady, she's a licensed trauma therapist. I love her podcast. So it's like the book was on pre-order well before it came out. Why am I like this? Okay? Because sometimes if you don't want to, like I say, you're not ready to reach out. You're not ready to talk to nobody. You're not ready to, get that coach, that therapist. This book here. This book helps you. It's how to break cycles and heal from trauma and restore your faith. I mean, it's only, why am I like this? I don't know about you, but that's a powerful statement. Question. Why am I like this? Why do I do things like this? What's going on with me, right? How trauma affects a sense of self and identity. What to do with the pain we've been carrying for so long. How trauma affects our perspectives of faith. And how to make room for God's tenderness in our everyday process of healing. So I got the book because, honey, I want to continue to help myself and help other people. I'm here for it. And this is also my book when I first came. That's the name of the book. It's called Why Am I Like This? And the author is Colby Campbell. Let me show you the cover again. It's on Amazon and Books R Us, Books A Million. So yeah, I got started in that, and I can't wait to get some. Matter of fact, I'm just in an introduction. I'm working on 2 books. Don't do what I do. 2 books is a lot to read at one time. But the book club I'm in, they got us in a book, and then this book here is my personal book. So I wanted to read this right here because I underlined this. It just stood out for me. The small things that bother us point us to the big wounds that cripple us. The small things that bother us point to the big wounds that cripple us. I think the greatest barrier to healing is embarrassment. Many of us are too afraid to share the truth about the big and little things that truly wound us. We're afraid to share about the facial expression someone made that caused us to feel shame about sharing our honest thoughts. We're scared to speak of the person who touched us inappropriately because we anticipate blame. In all of this, the terror lives on, isolating us, baiting us into a narrative of hopelessness while whispering lies of God's disappointment and anger towards us. And that's just the introduction, y'all. That is just in the introduction. But listen, it's only everything. It's only everything. There's so much information out here for you to heal, for you to figure out, why am I like this? That is, look at here. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm not there yet, but I'm not who I used to be. Okay? I'm not who I want to be yet, but I'm not who I used to be. And I celebrate that. And I want to celebrate myself also. I created a vision board journal by watching a YouTube video. It's so simple. So I created this on April 1st. I created this. And this is a vision board journal. So it's on Amazon. Revamp. You can type in revamped vision board journal and it'll come up. Okay. So what I do daily, I break down my vision board into like a pie, and I write out the areas that I want to work on for this quarter, right? So say for the month of April, I have business, health, family, and finances. So each day I'm making sure I'm doing something in each of those areas. This is why I call it a vision board journal. You can take it, you can write your thoughts and stuff like that out. But I write out my daily goals in here. So I wanted to share that with everybody because it's just something that helps me, right? Oh, I feel complete. Any questions, comments, or concerns? I wanted to share this stuff with you because it's stuff that's helping me, and I want to help other people. I'm here to help other people that have been called and assigned to me, right? So I wanted to share that. Changing the story. You can change that story, right? You can change how you view the story. Let me change that. The story is the story, but you can change the way you're looking at the story. Okay? It happened for a reason. Forgive, and forgive yourself. Move on. Do your work. There's somebody out there that needs you. There's somebody out there that's waiting on you to help them with what you've been through, that pain that you can't made it through. There's somebody out there waiting for you to come and help them. That's why it's important. We're here to help somebody else. You've been created to solve a problem in someone else's life. So that's all I have. I thank you for watching. Let me stop this.